Right to Atlanta, baby. Here we come. Comes the Cowboys. Number 1 secondary in the NFL.
All right, for week 9, welcome, guys. Bryce is obviously excited about the Dallas Cowboys coming into Atlanta this weekend. Are you going to the game?
Oh, no, tickets are way too expensive. I tried to get tickets, but the cheapest I could find were like $130 a pop for nosebleed. And I got a new little baby. I can't afford that.
TV.
Yeah, it's true.
And Daniel is actually going to enjoy the San Francisco bye week, right?
No, I hate bye weeks.
A well-deserved rest, man.
All right, let's start with the Thursday night game, which actually already started. But let's start with it.
Chargers going to win. Chiefs going to score first 3 points. Bam.
I'm just blown away by his analysis. Wow, analysis.
Chiefs score first 3 points. Chargers win.
Did the
Chiefs actually get the lead this game.
Did the Chiefs already score their first 3 points?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know, but that's what I'm
Are
saying.
you learning some
See,
weird
it's the
magic?
game. Well, it's only started 6 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Have they scored yet?
Probably not, even if they had the ball for 6
It
minutes.
hasn't showed up on ESPN yet.
Okay.
Let's just. I'm going to say Chargers at home. I don't think the Chiefs are a good enough team.
I agree.
I'm going to say the San Diego people are going to win this game because the game's probably blacked out. I'm sure it's not a sellout. So that's who's going to win is the San Diegans. Is that
The San Diegans?
San Diegans?
Sure. Let's
Sounds
go with
good.
that. Moving on.
You know what San Diego means in Spanish, don't you?
Let's move on, Bryce. Broncos at Bengals. Can the Peyton Manning show continue against the Bengals secondary?
Yeah.
No hesitation there. We're
Right.
going to go with yeah.
Denver's favored by 4
It's going to be better than
on the road.
Bengals were a playoff team last year. They're not a playoff team this year.
3-4 this year. It's
barely the team.
Is Andy Dalton's actually having a decent year? 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns.
The defense not having a decent game.
Okay, good point. I'm taking Broncos on the road.
Broncos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we had the yeah just saying.
All right, Ravens at the Browns.
Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens.
You know,
Yeah.
Browns are atrocious without Trent Richardson. They're probably going to be shut down with this Ravens defense, who's been not as good as normal years.
I don't think he'll be shut down. I don't think he'll be shut down.
I think he'll.
But the Ravens will win.
Because you're not going to fear Brandon Weeden throwing the ball, are you? You're going to stack the box and stop Trent Richardson.
Baltimore's favored by 4 on the road. The second favorite. Or
Yeah,
road
yeah. I would say that fits.
I'm taking Ravens on the road.
As am I.
Cardinals at Packers.
Packers.
Yeah, I mean,
Cardinals are a 4-game
Cardinals
skid.
are going to lose their 5th in a row.
yeah. I mean, unless the Packers for some reason pull a Seahawk.
You know who's back? Robo Rogers. He's back.
Yeah, and
And I'm going to call it right here. They're going to win the North.
really,
Yep.
No,
They're going to overtake the
I
Bears and they're
disagree
going to win the
with you
North.
I disagree. You
Why?
got to worry about. I mean, the Vikings are still on the hunt for that.
I agree, but I think Rodgers is back into his form as he was last year. Man, when he's back in form, I don't care what defense you have, you're usually not going to be able to stop him.
The two wild card teams will come from that division.
Yeah.
they're now 5-3 though. I mean, and Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken,
It's 4-4, I think.
you're either 4-4 or 5-3.
They're 6-1, 3-2.
They're 5-3. They're
7-2.
tied.
Okay.
They're tied right now. So I'm taking Packers at home. They're favored by 10.
I would take the Packers
Yeah.
with points on that one.
Really?
I
Points
wouldn't
too?
take the
I
points.
would.
I wouldn't take the
I tell
points.
you, Cardinals are in a slide. I mean, 4-game losing streak.
But they did win
got-
4 in a row at the beginning, so I mean they still got a little life in them. But I mean I don't see them beating the Packers, but I don't see them losing by 10 points. I mean that's not the 49ers D they're facing yet.
Cutler, Marshall, and company head into Tennessee this weekend and face the Titans.
Another
Bears,
boring game.
yeah.
Bears.
You're just not happy with these games this weekend, minus the 8 o'clock or 8:20 Sunday night game, huh? We'll hit on that here shortly. Let's talk about it a little bit. What do you think the Titans can do against the Bears' defense?
Throw interceptions.
That's what everybody does, right?
My fantasy team hopes so, but
How many touchdowns do you
If
think
Chris
the Bears
Johnson-
defense gets?
I mean, if Chris Johnson actually runs the ball, which
He's done better.
Yeah,
he's
the
done
last
better
couple
the past
games.
few weeks. Yeah, I agree.
It depends on the Bears. Even though they have a good defense, their team depends on what Jay Cutler does.
Mhm.
That's what it comes down to.
That's sad.
Let's put it this way too, and a lot of the win for last week for the Bears came on a pick six. On that pick six, the 2012 Bears defense overtook the 1985 Bears defense for the most pick sixes in the year.
And we're not going halfway through.
Yeah,
That's
halfway through the
crazy.
season.
The thing I like about the Bears defense is if you watch them, when they get a pick six, the other 10 people don't just stand around and
block.
look. They block.
Yes.
They run downfield. They throw blocks. They actively try to get.
They turn into an offensive team.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what the Ravens did, I would say 3 to 4 years ago when they were at their peak, when they were just hammering people with that defense. That's what the Ravens did. Somebody would get an interception, they would find somebody to hit.
Yep.
It didn't matter. As long as it was a legal hit, they would find somebody to hit. Sometimes if it wasn't legal, outside of a nightclub in Atlanta.
Pick?
Bears.
Okay, I'm taking the Bears as well. Dolphins at the Colts. Probably one of the most interesting games of the weekend.
Would not have expected to say that
I
at the
wouldn't
beginning of
either.
the season.
I agree.
I'm like, Colts and Dolphins.
Who cares?
Dolphins are on their
Two
way.
quarterbacks.
Dolphins are on their way up, and they're going to chase the Patriots for the division. The way that they're playing.
These are two, in my opinion. These are 2 of the 3 teams that are battling for a playoff berth. I think it's these 2 teams and whoever doesn't win the conference between Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
How big would it be for Indianapolis if Andrew Luck actually makes the playoffs in this rookie
That would be
season?
huge.
That
That would be
There's
huge.
an understatement.
That wouldn't erase the memory of Peyton Manning, obviously.
But that'd
for
give
what
them
he did.
hope for the
Absolutely.
future.
That would give them so much hope.
And he doesn't have a team around him, so he's doing this.
Absolutely not. When
Yeah.
Peyton was there, Peyton had a lot of talent. Andrew Luck, in my opinion, doesn't have a lot at all. And Donald Brown has been banged up the past few weeks, who is arguably his best weapon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Wayne.
Pick?
Colts. I hate to go against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are great, but I think the Colts can win at
Dolphins
home.
are on a roll right now.
Dolphins are favored by 2 on the road.
I am not
It's scary.
I am not a big fan of rookie quarterbacks on the road. I don't feel confident in picking that, so I'm going to go with the Colts as well, just because of the rookie aspect on the road.
I'm going to pull Jeremy York. I'm going to take the Dolphins. Since you took the Colts, I'm going to take the Dolphins on the road.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, I might. Let's start with a team that the current rookie star goes against last year's rookie star. And I think RG3, in my opinion, the record doesn't show it, but has surpassed, in my opinion, what Cam Newton did last year.
Well, I see RG3 as a true dual-threat quarterback. As in Cam Newton, I
with the
see...
running.
Absolutely. Cam Newton, running. Michael Vick, running. I see RG3 as a
He can sit in the pocket.
pure
Passer, yeah.
and that is terrifying. If he can get a team around him and some experience under his belt, it's going to be a long day for those.
I mean, he's got Shanahan as a coach, so I mean that has to help. I mean, Shanahan hasn't fielded the best teams in the past few years, but the man did coach John Elway to 2 Super Bowls. So I mean,
I think John Elway coached himself for 2 Super Bowls.
well, okay.
But sometime in
Of
the
course, I
next
thought that
5
was
years.
Breeze, so
Next time in the next 5 years, sometimes I think you're going to see a RG3 versus Luck in the Super Bowl. Redskins and the Colts.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah,
Five,
yeah,
I
would
mean,
agree
maybe
with
10. I say 5 years. Give him time to put some people
Washington's favored by 3.
I'm taking Washington. Yeah, Redskins, Panthers will find a way to lose. That's what they do.
I
Panthers
agree.
are a train wreck. I'm going to take the Redskins on
Yeah, I'll
at
take the
home.
Redskins at home.
Speaking of train wrecks,
Speaking of train
There's
wrecks,
2 teams that are arguably train wrecks.
the
in their own
other
respect.
1-6 team, also in the AFC, the Jaguars are hosting the Lions.
wow.
I think that Matthew Stafford's going to have a very solid game. I think he's starting to get
I hope
better.
Calvin Johnson has a solid game.
Yeah, your fantasy team does.
Didn't
Yeah.
he say at the beginning of the year he was going to get 2,000 rushing yards? I mean, 2,000 receiving yards. He did say
Close
that.
to it.
Yeah, he's
What was
nowhere
it?
near.
Was it
Lions
past
win.
3 or 4 games? Calvin Johnson has just been a non-factor.
This whole year, Calvin Johnson's been
That
a
changes
non-factor.
this week just because the Jaguars are that bad.
Lions win.
Calvin Johnson is 638 yards this year and 1 touchdown.
Wow.
Through
Thanks, you jerk. You're killing my
7 games.
fantasy team.
7
Mine too,
games.
dude.
I mean, he was like my first pick in almost every league.
Yeah,
And
he
I took
was.
him
Including our league.
Yeah, in that league, yeah. I think you're gonna catch more touchdown passes.
I
than
tried
me.
to. He didn't have him.
I'm going to take the Lions on the road
I
as
might
well.
take that 3. Let me review my team.
Let's talk about the Bills and the Texans. The Bills are kind of up and down. I can't
Mostly down.
I can't put a finger on what the Bills are
Bad.
They're like you said, up and down. But against the Texans, it doesn't matter what they are; they're going to lose.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens were up,
Solid
and they
point.
got just destroyed by the Texans.
Houston's favored by 10 at home. We're going to take Houston, all three of us.
Yeah.
Buccaneers at the Raiders.
This is going to be a good game.
See, this is and Matt Ridgway, our former co-host, called me primarily out this week on the Facebook page.
Well, that's because he knows you don't know the NFL.
Thanks.
I'm disappointed.
But I sent him an article early in the season that a guy picked all the games for all of the season and picked the Buccaneers to go 3-13, and he was like, "No, I think they're going to go 6-7." I'm like,
"That's not bad."
I mean, 6 and 10.
Okay, I'll
6 and 10. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And he's saying, but I mean, the way that Josh Freeman's playing, and if Doug Martin gets going like he did last week, it's possible.
I think that left guard, Nix, when they lost him, I think that was huge for Doug Martin.
I did too, and I thought, when I got the text message about it, I almost sent it to Matt and been like, there goes your season.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge for them.
Raiders are favored by 1 at home. I'm going to take the Raiders at home. It's tough to go across country.
I agree. They're trifling, all the way from
I'll
good
take
coach
Raiders.
to the bad coach.
Especially if McFadden gets running, the Raiders will win that.
Vikings are facing the Seahawks. It's a really intriguing matchup just simply because Christian Ponder needs to have a really solid game because he's having a sophomore campaign that was so much better than his rookie campaign.
That
Russell Wilson
terrific. The Vikings defenses look terrific.
Russell Wilson, and speaking of terrific defenses, the Seahawks defense has been fantastic
That's
this
a
season.
hard place to go into anytime.
They're 3-0. They're 3-0 at home. I'm going to take the Seahawks at home. It's hard to go into Seattle.
I think Minnesota bounces back from that loss. I think they can go in Seattle and beat Seattle.
I agree with Daniel. I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one. I just don't see where the points are going to come for Seattle. I like Russell Wilson a lot. He has some young talent on him, but I still don't see, beside Lynch, I don't see a week in, week out solid performer.
Harvin's going to be a big force in this game. Harvin's going to be a big force.
I think Peterson will as well. It's tough to stop AP.
They will zone in on Peterson. That's why Harvin will be such a big force.
Steelers at the Giants, and if Steelers want to come back into this AFC picture, playoff picture, they need this win bad. It's not going to happen, in my opinion, or any of us apparently.
Giants win this.
But I tell you, the Giants do have cause for concern from last week's. Granted, they were going up against Dallas, who was the number one pass defense. Yeah, the Giants had a huge lead, but it should have been even bigger if they could have capitalized on the short field they have. And in the second half, they disappeared. That is going to be – they won the game, which is all that really matters, but that has to be a big cause of concern for Tom Coughlin and that crew. They're going to have to batten down the hatches because this is a Steelers team that's looking to get back into the postseason talk right now. Because everybody just assumes that the Ravens are going to win that division. And I'm not so convinced that the Ravens are going to win that. I still see the Steelers as a very viable thought because Jonathan Dwyer is a much better running back than
I agree, but they are saying that Mendenhall is coming back from injury this week.
The last time he came back, he showed out.
Mm-hmm. This is true. So, Giants, pay attention to that. We're going to move on to the Monday night game. We're going to skip the Sunday night game and leave that for last. The only reason we have to do this is because they're two just awful teams right now.
This is two teams. This is another game like the Colts-Titans game, like the Colts-Dolphins game. Both of those at the beginning of the season, you would say, "Well, I don't care about that. It doesn't matter." Huge implications now. We're halfway through the season.
This one would have been a big game.
Eagles at Saints. This is going to be huge. You're going to have Vic. You're going to have Breeze. It's going to be in New Orleans Monday night. And neither team are going to make the playoffs. They're not even in the playoff game.
And let's make this very clear. Michael Vick will be the starter for this week. Andy Reid did come out and say this, I believe, yesterday.
He didn't turn the ball over the last week against y'all, which I think was an improvement, but that is also why they lost.
That's why they lost. Thank you.
They have to turn the ball over in order to win.
Yeah, they turn the ball over 4 times, win. Put it in the books.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Saints at home.
I'm taking the Eagles because the Saints can't stop nobody.
Okay, but I'm also taking the Saints at home because let's look at what Matt Ryan did against this Eagles secondary and think about Drew Brees and
Drew
that
Brees
passing offense.
I'm going to say this. I'm Falcons are my second favorite team, 49ers. Drew Brees is not Matt Ryan this year.
No, I agree.
It's far from Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is superior to Drew Brees this year.
I'm going to take the Eagles because I think they suck a little bit less than
I agree.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Sunday night game, the big marquee matchup for the two of us at least.
Bryce versus Billy.
We're gonna let's just start with. I'll come out and say it. I'm a little bit worried about this game. Number one, I think the Giants are a better team than the Falcons. And Dallas gave the Giants everything they had, and I'm really worried about that. Number two, Sean Weatherspoon is out this week. Mike Smith just announced it today. Weatherspoon is out for this game. However, I'm still taking the Falcons at home. Here's why. You want to hear why?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Matt Ryan can carve up your secondary.
Eli couldn't. He's a better quarterback.
Okay.
Let me tell you why the Cowboys are going to win. How do you feel going into this game? What's your gut feeling?
My gut feeling is Falcons will win, but it'll be close.
A little nervous?
A little bit.
Dallas ain't gonna be nervous at all. You know why? We ain't got nothing to lose.
You're still trying for the division. Anyway, the other thing that I'm really looking forward to is to see how Tony Romo does against the Falcons' improved secondary.
Man, he has looked atrocious.
If they just run the ball, they have nothing to worry about with throwing it because y'all can't stop the run.
DeMarco Murray is out. Felix Jones is going to be the starting running back, and he's done decent. We're not going to win the game if Romo throws 60 pass attempts like he did last week.
I agree. That's why my gut feeling is to take the Falcons at home.
Des Bryant is a cancer on that team. He needs to be gone immediately after this season. They're going to work Jason Witten to death again for the second week in a row, and I think the Falcons' offense gets shut down for the first time this year.
So you're going Cowboys?
I am going Cowboys.
You're going Falcons?
I'm going Falcons.
I'm going Cowboys.
All right.
Up here.
Yeah, I got to go against them because got to lose eventually.
Yep.
We do have to lose eventually. Hopefully it will not be now.
Because we'll hear about it for the rest of the season, even if we don't win no more games.
For the recap for week 9, or the preview for week 9 for Bryce and Daniel, this has been Billy, or Sports Club. Thanks, guys.